Welcome to Day 5 of the Fiba Basketball World Cup. Group C play continues tonight at the Vizcaya Arena in Bilbao, Spain. The United States playing its fourth game of the preliminary round against the Dominican Republic. With Fran Fraschilla, I'm Mark Kestis. Your friend, the U.S. has been led by its front court duo of Davis and Farid, and now they're looking to get the guards going in this tournament.
And it's all about a process, developing that inside-outside game. It's been Farid and Davis for most of this tournament so far, but Klay Thompson has been one guy that's knocked down some shots for Team USA behind the arc. He also defends well. Key guy coming off the bench. It's just now a matter of gelling between those explosive inside players and Team USA's perimeter players.
Let's take a look at Klay Thompson through the first 3 games of this tournament.
Yep, there you see the numbers right there. 8 threes in 3 games. Pretty good percentage, but he's more than that for Team USA, handling the ball and also defending. And he can defend 3 positions in this tournament.
Well, James Harden actually is leading the United States and assisting at almost 5 per game. Spoke a short few minutes ago with our Bob Holtzman.
James Harden's been playing a little bit out of position at small forward. How would you assess the guard play? I know you guys have had so many moving parts with this team.
Pretty good. You know, we got always, for the most part, have 2 point guards in the game. So, you know, I just got to guard, you know, kind of taller guys. But, you know, the other 2 guards take the pressure off me, you know, offensively and defensively. So, just go out there and just have fun with it.
You feel like you guys are getting in a rhythm?
Yeah. It's only been 5 or 6 games, but, you know, we got so many unselfish guys that it makes the game a lot easier. So we just go out there, play hard for each other, and like I said, have fun.
Thanks, James.
Appreciate it.
James Harden with Bob Holtzman. Let's see who is starting in that backcourt with Harden and the United States in tonight's game against the Dominican Republic. Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving again starting with Harden, Farid and Davis. Farid shooting at 80% so far from the field in the tournament. Here's the Dominican Republic team that they're going to face 2-1 so far. And a name you're not seeing right in the middle is Francisco Garcia. The Houston Rockets turned his ankle late in yesterday's win against Finland. James Feldine, Edgar Sosa, Eloy Vargas, all guys who've played at American colleges.
Yes, and the reason that you won't see Garcia take a chance is because tomorrow's game versus Turkey in pool play is much more important in a game that likely the Dominican Republic would lose anyway today.
Well, I got to say, he was a warrior last night against Finland. He turned his ankle, clearly wasn't even able to walk, but got on the floor, tried to defend, tried to get a shot off, and they were able to pull out that win over Finland, 74-68. But as you pointed out, Fran, smart for him to rest up into the final preliminary tomorrow. Meanwhile, Kenneth Farid, what more can you say about what he's done for Team USA?
No, Coach K said he's been the most pleasant surprise on this roster, and as we've chronicled, he gets you going with his energy. He's a force of nature, and hopefully he can provide that same energy for this USA team today.
United States beating New Zealand yesterday to go to 3-0. They have clinched a spot in the round of 16 in Barcelona starting in this weekend. If they win tonight's game, they will clinch the group. And also, again, the round of 16 quarters will move on to Barcelona. Everything ends in Madrid for the gold medal game. Some key rules differences for those who watch college and NBA from the FIBA rules. I like the second one, the no live ball timeouts, a coach's game.
Exactly. The players cannot call timeout, and the coach can only call timeout when the ball is dead, whether it goes out of bounds or when the ball goes through the net. It's temporarily dead.
Well, the tip is won by the Dominican Republic, and Victor Lee's not able to finish there. The other way, the United States scoring early as Kyrie Irving answers.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving has been probably the most consistent perimeter player for Coach K. His ability to get to the lane has been very, very good.
Our officials from France, Argentina, and Uruguay, and we've got a whistle away from the ball.
Checking something with the clock.
Yeah, clock issue is the
shot clock.
Official pointing to the opposite shot clock. It was stuck on 24, obviously, and this was probably a good 10 seconds into possession. So as they continue to work that out, a chance for us to get you up to date. The U.S. at 3-0, Dominican Republic at 2-1 so far in Group C. 4 groups in, or rather 6 teams in all 4 groups, the top 4. will advance to the knockout stage after the end of the preliminary round tomorrow. This is Edgar Sosa, former Louisville Cardinal, stepping on the end line, turns it over to the United States. Let's check out our Group C standings.
And if you look at the Group C standings, there's a real good chance that everybody in this pool outside of Team USA could finish 3-2 or 2-3, and that's why you see Francisco Garcia, Orlando Antigua, the coach, resting him today, because tomorrow's game is going to be critical for every other team in this pool.
Here's Farid taking it strong to the hole, getting by Elise Baez. You know, we've seen Kenneth Farid get it done with offensive rebounds, energy, but that was just taking it to the rack.
That 81% field goal percentage just went up a little bit.
Leading the tournament in field goal percentage by far. Dominican Republic, this is the second time they're playing the United States in the last couple of weeks. They played a friendly at Madison Square Garden. And now Baez in a United States foul on his trip to the lane.
You know, it's a smart move. You see Farid get all the way to the rim. There's no basket protection there, but the one concern you have if your coach Antigua is a devastating loss could mentally affect you tomorrow. So it's important to play this game at a pace that keeps them in it as much as possible and not get into a track meet with Team USA.
Foul called against the United States on James Harden. And with 14 on the shot clock, the Dominican Republic trying to get on the board here. Certainly going to miss Francisco Garcia, the fourth leading scorer in the entire tournament, as Feldin misses on that floater, but a good bounce for the Dominicans. Eloy Vargas puts it in, the former Kentucky Wildcat.
And he's coming off a career game yesterday against Finland. 18 points, 13 rebounds, and his confidence right now, this is the best I've ever seen him play. Former Kentucky and Florida player, transferred to Kentucky from junior college. He is really, really helping himself.
Vargas thought about it, now takes Farid in the lane. Tipped up, controlled. Another chance for Vargas, missed, and a loose ball foul. Looks like it's going to go against the United States. Here's our leading scorers in the tournament.
Well, you see guys, all recognizable names, obviously. Francisco Garcia's 31 minutes and 21 points will be sorely missed today. But again, strategically, a good move if they want to advance out of pool play.
Vargas coming up short on that shot. Here's Harden in the lane against Vargas, and he'll get to the line. Eloy Vargas picking up his first. I was mentioning, Fran, this is the second time these teams have played in the last few weeks at Madison Square Garden. In August 20th, a 43-point United States win against this team. But the feeling is the Dominican Republic's kind of gelling like they weren't a couple of weeks ago since they got to Spain.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to matter much, but I do think that Orlando Antigua has done a terrific job with this team. We've watched them practice in New York. He's got a great command of his team, as you see the USA coaching staff. John Calipari was the coach of this team, and he almost got them qualified in the 2012 Olympics. Well, his assistant at Kentucky, Orlando Antigua, took over, and they qualified for the World Cup in just his first year last year with a great finish in the Fiba Americas.
Here's Lee's blocked by Anthony Davis. Steph Curry trying to lead the break. Curry all the way down the lane. Feldin with the save, but right to Irving, loading up Harvin for three. Tipped up Farid. Another chance, a third chance goes down. That's been the U.S. game so far in Spain.
That looked like Olympic volleyball right there between Davis and Farid, but that's really been the MO for Team USA. Missed shots are like passes to Davis and Farid so far in this tournament.
Kenneth Farid had 7 offensive rebounds yesterday against New Zealand. Lee's stripped by Irving, goes to Vargas down low. Gets position, but went too strong.
Well, he didn't shoot that ball with his eyes. Never really got a good look at the rim. That was a shot he could have converted.
Farid's going to take the outside jumper. The Dominican Republic has missed 7 of its first 8 shots. Edgar Sosa knocking down the second field goal of the game.
Edgar Sosa, the former Louisville Cardinal. He'll play this year in Italy, in Sardinia. Not a bad place to spend your time.
And get paid while you're there. Not too bad.
Get paid to play basketball, yep.
Yeah, Sosa doing well. James Feldin, number 10 in white. was in the Northeast Conference at Quinnipiac. He's turned himself into a good European player. Now Harden is fouled. Oh, no travel. Yeah, they got the travel. Second turnover from the United States.
Good pressure by the Dominican Republic right here. You see Lees and Sosa. I think he just lost his footing.
Offensive foul, an illegal screen.
Baez away from the ball. 10th year in the league for Francisco Garcia. He'll be playing this year again with the Houston Rockets. Former draft pick of the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, signed to the veterans minimum as Steph Curry launches a three and hits. United States now doubling up the Dominican Republic.
A good ball movement that time. Good screen. And Steph Curry with an uncontested shot from that international range.
Here's Sosa against the much taller Davis. Got a hand on that. Chance to break. And Vargas fouling Kyrie Irving on his way toward the lane.
And that's Vargas's second foul, I believe.
It is 2 on Vargas.
Watch Sosa here. Try to double pump it, but Anthony Davis, among the things he does so well is he stays away from the offensive player's body as much as possible. 2-3 zone again by the Dominican Republic. See, this ought to result in a wide open shot if they just swing this ball side to side.
That time they skip it across to Harden, and boom, there you go.
You know, they've been a one-side team in terms of shooting quickly, and as long as they move the ball side to side and through the middle of the lane as they did in the second half against Turkey, they're not going to have any trouble with zone.
Brian, you see Greece has gone final win over Croatia, now 4-0 in Group B as the Dominican turns it over.
And that sets up a great game tomorrow with Argentina, who is 3-1. And the importance of that game in Group B is the winner will stay away from Spain until the semifinal. The loser likely to see them in the quarters.
Kenneth Faried can't finish. Neither can Davis, who had a run at the rim. Dominican Republic. Sosa with a nice move inside.
Really good. You know, the first time he drove to the basket, he's got 5 now. He went to his right. That time he came back to his left.
Davis missing on the jam. Another chance to run. Baez gives back to Lees. They'll call the goaltend on Faried. Give it to Victor Lees, Dominican Republic. Trying to claw its way back down 4.
Yeah, Team USA has missed 2 point-blank shots at the rim right now. Once that ball hits the rim, excuse me, the backboard, you got to let it go. But that's a nice move by Edgar Sosa. You know, in 2011, he suffered a tremendously devastating leg injury, not unlike the injury to Paul George. It was in FIBA Americas, and it's taken him a while to come back and get his confidence and quickness back.
Foul on Edgar Sosa, his first. Yeah, he's come back very strong. Played at Rice High School in New York before Louisville.
He was a high school teammate of Kemba Walker, the Charlotte Hornets.
Steph Curry missing. As soon as you said Charlotte Hornets, I'm thinking Del Curry when I saw Steph lining up there. Here's Feldine. That block number 3 for Anthony Davis. Harden open for 3. Rudy Gay just into the game, gets the rebound, puts it up, draws contact. He'll get to the line.
It's been a game-to-game decision for Coach K in terms of Rudy Gay and DeMarcus Cousins. This is a smaller Dominican Republic team. He's going with Rudy Gay right now.
Baez got called for the foul. At least Baez and Eloy Vargas both with 2 fouls early for the Dominican Republic.
Team USA is shooting about 70%, little bit above in this tournament. Not the kind of numbers you would want from this team.
Harden got a hand in. Davis has it. Dominican Republic getting back, had 3 defenders. Now they'll have to set up the half court.
There's that zone again.
Gay, the pull-up on the baseline is good.
Rudy gives you a nice backup for Kenneth Faried. Can play both inside and out.
Harden picking up Lees. And a nice job off the glass for Victor Lees. If there's one part of the U.S. game that they're still working on, it would be defending the pick and roll.
Well, I think Turkey certainly caused them trouble, and that's just too easy for Lees to get into the lane like that. And Rudy Gay shows you what we were talking about. A little bit of that stretch four look at 6'8". He can knock down the three at a reasonably good rate, but watch the drive here by Lees, second leading scorer in the Dominican Professional League this past season. Over 20 points a game, and then again getting to the rim. That's way too easy. Too much penetration on the part of the Dominican Republic right now.
And Orlando Antigua having to go to his bench. That was the third foul on Elise Baez. So Orlando Sanchez and Jack Martinez now in the game. Martinez, the captain of this Dominican team, off the bench.
Well, Jack Martinez has been around this Dominican team a long time. 32 years old. Very tough physical guy. Sort of been described as the Karl Malone of the Caribbean.
U.S. lead at 7 as we hit the 3-minute mark to go in the first. A reminder, Team USA takes to the court against Ukraine. It's the last group preliminary round game tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. And then don't forget, Fiba's round of 16 will tip off on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern in Barcelona, which is the site at which the U.S. men's team will be playing. All games available live on Watch ESPN.
Yeah, Mike Fratello's club is 2-2, but they have played essentially most of pool play without one of their top players, Sergei Gladier, who sprained his ankle in the early part of the second game against Finland. And
the Ukraine team losing to New Zealand earlier today. New Zealand getting its first win. Off the Dominican turnover, the U.S. gives it back. Ronald Ramon from the right hitting. The former Pitt Panther gets a triple.
Absolutely. All Hallows High School in the Bronx. Now playing professionally in the Dominican.
Curry again for three. Not that time. Dominican Republic only down 4 here as they bring it up with 2:20 to go. First quarter. Lees, a long three attempt. And the rebound from DeMarcus Cousins.
You know, I've said this a couple times. These are like guarantee games for a top-ranked college team. You kind of know you're going to win, but it's about process. And Team USA in the early going, I think, very sloppy.
You know, this is the time of game we would be seeing Derrick Rose come into the game. We've been told that he should be playing in all 3 games in 3 days, but no Rose yet off the bench.
Well, I think Coach K is trying to establish a rhythm with his starting 5, particularly on the perimeter, and right on cue. Here comes D. Rose.
At the 2:03 mark to go in the first quarter, Derrick Rose played back-to-back games Saturday, Sunday in the opening 2 of the preliminary round. It was the first time he'd done that since November when he was injured.
You know, and I think it's a non-issue by now. You know, he's not going to play more than 20 minutes most games. And, you know, these games in some cases are less intense than long practices, especially the ones he'll have in November, December, January for Tom Thibodeau.
He's a different taskmaster.
Yeah, and it's
as an assistant.
I think that Derrick is past that too now. You know, I don't expect him to sit out any more games, and I think now playing time is necessary for him to get back into a little bit of a rhythm.
And after tomorrow, there's day off and then a couple days off after that as we get into the knockout round. The United States, by the way, only 2 for 7 at the free throw line here in the first quarter. Their lead is 4. Gay from the corner. Rebound Cousins and a whistle. Loose ball against the Dominican Republic.
What surprises me right now, Mark, is these are shots that are comfortable shots for Team USA during the NBA season, but they have such a decided advantage inside against this Dominican team that I'm a little surprised they're not pounding it inside.
Well, Anthony Davis, we know, has the 3 block shots, but 0 for 4 so far from the field in his time on the floor as DeMar DeRozan now checks into the game, and Manny Fortuna coming into the Dominican lineup. DeMarcus Cousins averaging 8 points, 5 boards so far for Team USA in the first 3 games. "57 consecutive wins for Coach K and the United States senior men's team, including FIBA, Olympic play, and exhibitions coming in to this afternoon's action." And there you see the record in total since taking over. Dominican has not been to the line at all in this first quarter. Jack Martinez late in the shot clock, lets fly and hits.
He's not a bad mid-range shooter. He does most of his work around the lane, but that was good pick and pop basketball. Good patience.
Thompson had an opening and he took it, hitting a 3-pointer.
He and Curry are not going to stop shooting open shots, nor should they.
Nice pass, but another block knocked out of bounds by Rudy Gay. That's the 5th United States block here in the opening quarter.
Orlando Sanchez, former St. John's Red Storm member. He's 26 years old. Only played 1 year at St. John's. That's a breakdown. Now that happened twice in the Turkey game, if you recall, off inbounds plays.
Derrick Rose taking it all the way to the rim.
That's about getting his timing back, because Derrick Rose has missed, as you know, Mark, a number of those type of shots.
As Rose knocks that one out of play. Derrick Rose so far in the tournament averaging a little over 5.5 points per game. Only 1 of 7 from 3-point range. Did not play against the Dominican Republic. That was that first game that kind of signaled all the hoopla off the Brazil win in Chicago. So their first look at the former MVP. 8 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to count that basket as Boogie Cousins knocked it through.
Yep. Ronald Ramon with the floater, the former Pitt Panther. Had some good seasons there. All right, 2-3 zone. Now you're going to get the last shot of the half, which would probably be good.
Thompson missing. Cousins right there for the easy deuce.
No surprise. Team USA should dominate the offensive glass today.
Here's Martinez, and he bags it with a couple seconds to go in the quarter. Time will run out. Not a bad start for the Dominican Republic, but the United States bench, 13 points in the first quarter. Checking some news and notes from around the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Right now on ESPN3, they're about to get underway. A big one, Spain and France, Fran, coming up.
A rematch of last year's European Championships won by France, but no Tony Parker this year for Les Blues.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. We'll keep everybody up to date on that one. Meanwhile, the Dominican Republic, despite not getting to the free throw line in the opening 10 minutes, only down 3 and a chance to tie there. But the rebound chased down by Rudy Gay.
And no Francisco Garcia. They're holding him out with that ankle injury he suffered yesterday, saving him for what will look to be a really important game tomorrow to advance.
As DeMar DeRozan scores on that run to the basket.
That was good inside-out basketball. Something that I think really plays to Team USA's strengths right now.
Dominican Republic lost its opening game to the Ukraine, but has since beaten New Zealand and Finland. The two teams right now sitting in the bottom 2 positions as Jack Martinez chucks one up, but he'll get himself to the line. First time the Dominican going to shoot free throws. Rudy Gay picking up the foul.
Yeah, you had Jack Martinez in jail here. And what you want to do right there is just make him shoot a tough shot and stay vertical. But good look inside out from Cousins to DeRozan on the cut. It's not a Syracuse level 2-3 zone. No disrespect, but good ball movement will lead to great shots. If you're Team USA and you show just a little bit of patience. This guy has been around. Jack Martinez went to Artesia High School in California, same place that produced Jason Capono, the O'Bannons. But he was ruled ineligible because he was, I think he had already been a professional in the Dominican Republic, but that they had a heck of a team.
Yeah, for fans who haven't paid a lot of attention to international basketball, so many of the teenagers are playing club ball, but not all of them are being paid to play, right? So they can keep their eligibility.
The rules have changed. The rules are a lot more liberal. Nice look inside.
And Cousins, the easy finish.
Yeah. No, the rules are much more liberal for a young guy who's, you know, 16, 17, 18. FIBA rules now, you can't sign a pro contract until you're 18. And with the European economy the way it's been the last couple of years, a lot more kids coming over to college.
And a Dominican Republic foul. Edward Santana just checking into the game. Did not play the first 3 games of the tournament for the Dominican Republic. Got a final. Lithuania with a 30-point win over winless Korea. Cousins the offensive foul and the putback, and he'll get to the line.
Yeah, this is good for Team USA. Now, this is not a physical team, Dominican Republic inside, but they ought to just pound the offensive glass, throw the ball inside versus that zone, and just punish them around the rim. When you attack the basket with success, you force the defense to contract, and the more white shirts that are defending in the lane, the easier jump shots become, and there's less contest.
Coronado finding Santana, who scores, and he'll get to the line. Edward Santana, 6'8", power forward from Venezuela, probably with the Francisco Garcia injury also being forced into action. And now we'll get to the line, a chance at a 3-point play.
Yep. He's a good backup type guy, hustle guy. He's a lot like Baez in terms of being a glue guy. Baez with 3 fouls, so he'll have to sit. But this is a game performance so far by Orlando Antigua's club. It's almost like Team USA, Mark, is going through the motions. And the only danger with that is, as I said earlier, there's a process for a team like Team USA, who's not together very long, to develop chemistry, and you really want to blow teams out if you can.
DeMar DeRozan missing there. Loose ball foul on the floor. That's going to go against Manny Fortuna on the push. And this is a situation where it's 5 games in 6 days. Yep. Coach K's been able to get into an adjacent arena and go through the walkthroughs, but it's not a real practice time.
Exactly.
Is there a chance there may not really be a cohesion until you get to Barcelona and you get some practice time in there?
Well, I think Team USA is never going to have the kind of cohesion that some of these other national programs have. Ukraine, for example, started practicing on July 15th. Probably a lot of 2-a-days. That's just not our culture right now. But the way we do it with Team USA, it works. You know, we take great players and we put them together and we ask them to play unselfishly, and by and large they do. But in terms of the execution of offense or the complexities of offenses and defenses, you don't have the time, really. Understandable.
And so far tonight, not really turning over the Dominican until right there and on the break. Derrick Rose finishing on the other end.
Exactly. Good defense, turning it over. Now, this game's going to be a blowout at some point, but it just gets to the point where you don't want to keep Dominican in this game. And to Dominican Republic's credit, they've done a really good job of handling themselves.
Fortuna on the fall away off the glass. DeRozan will bring it up for the United States. 3-0 in the preliminary. Lob for the rim. Rose tried to explode up there, but couldn't quite corral it down. And Fortuna loses it the other way. A Dominican Republic turnover. Timeout at the Vizcaya Arena. United States in front. Oh. Back in Spain, 6:55 to go in the half, and that's the first basket for Anthony Davis, just back on the floor for the United States.
Remember, Anthony Davis in that game versus Turkey did not score in the first half and ended up with 19 in the second half.
It was really the only bad half in the first 3 games of the preliminary round As Jack Martinez hits again from outside. He's got 8 off the bench.
And 2 of those baskets came in pick and roll coverage. They're trying to force the ball down to the baseline, but they need some weak side help to stunt on Martinez so he doesn't have the open look.
This ball foul on Kenneth Farid. Ford's won 17 straight at Palo Alto. Should be a good one out of the Pac-12.
USC looked very good in beating Fresno State. With all those distractions the Trojans had last week, they came out and played good football.
Dominican Republic down 7. And the shot no good for Edward Santana. United States running lob for Farid, who puts it in one hand and flushes. Largest lead of the evening for the United States.
James Harden has really made that a habit in this tournament. He's such a good ball handler, but he's also a really good passer, and he's got that lob down to Davis and Farid. Those guys are really confident in his ability to find them if they'll just take off for the rim.
Ball goes out of bounds. There'll be 5 on the shot clock on the baseline out of bounds. Feldine can't convert on the floater. 5.5 minutes to go here in our first half. Curry goes for the rim. Farid gets room and scores. And now Farid tripping. They're going to call that one on Kenneth Farid as a little incidental contact, but that'll be 2 now on Farid.
Well, Curry finds him at the rim, and watch this. They call that a foul. Wow. Even Orlando Antigua's were wondering about that one. He'll be the first-year head coach at South Florida this year, and really a great fit down there in Tampa. Brother Oliver is an assistant coach.
I was going to say, I was able to do a game there last year. Great facilities.
Yes, they've upgraded that Sun Dome. Lots of green and gold in there.
Harden called on that foul.
Watch this lob now by James Harden, and Farid, just bundle of energy. He really explodes up the floor.
Santana down the post, again denied by the great duo of Anthony and Farid. Curry gets by Sosa. Over Santana, flying in for the jam, Kenneth Farid.
He just continues to play with a high motor.
And as you pointed out yesterday, that cash register continues to tick upward for the Denver Nuggets, who they're working on an extension.
Well, they'll be clearing some space here in the next year. They've got a couple of heavy-duty, high-burden contracts that they'll be parting with here soon. But you love the effort. And first to block, he's running the floor. You know what? I used to tell my guys, we used to chart offensive rebounds attempted. It made sense to me that the more you run directly to the rim, the more offensive rebounds you're going to get. And he treats every shot like it's a pass to him. And it's a great way to play the game.
You know, we often describe guys with motor. Sometimes it's overused. It almost feels like he's ratcheted up even more, that he now feels not only the confidence that he belongs on this stage.
Well, he said he's having fun. And there you see Anthony Davis. That's customary now for him. He continues to really be good in the mid-range.
Davis with 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Part of a 12-2 run. Lee's wide open for 3.
Lees didn't play much in New York until the fourth quarter and really showed some athleticism, some scoring ability. And you can see that. And right now, it looks like they're trying to play 2-3 zone. Either that or Team USA's man-to-man offense is just standing around. But
Davis lost it. Dominican Republic on the move. Three-pointer missed that time. Farid muscles another rebound.
Team USA can get any shot they want right now.
Harden getting contact. Will get to the line. James Feldine got called for the reach there, and that'll be his second foul.
That's that nice little step back 3 by Victor Lees.
You would think, a guy like Victor Lee certainly, is learning under the wing of Francisco Garcia, who's out today. But Lee's himself was the finals MVP in the Dominican Republic in their professional league this past year. That's a guy who can score. He
had a very good year. I mentioned second leading scorer. Something that Oliver Antigua is, you see, it's a
fear the beard, even in España.
And as this game opens up, which I expect it will, then Oliver Antigua has got to make sure the rest of his key guys stay rested. And I know in the second half, Mark, we'll get into the pool play and the ramifications of tomorrow. But they've got a big day tomorrow because they're going to play Turkey in a game that's going to determine whether they get into the knockout round. So it's not just Garcia resting that ankle. A lot of strategy involved in this final day or two of pool play.
Great find to Jack Martinez for the basket. The Spain-France game is just underway. An early 5-point lead for the homestanding Spanish. Keep you updated on that game as long as we are on the air, as James Harden misses from 3. Playing those games in Granada, Spain. Here's Feldin all the way to the basket.
James Feldin had a big game in New York against Team USA. 14 points that night. You mentioned the former star at Repubic for Tommy Moore. Had a good run there, averaged 17 a game his last 2 years. He'll play in Italy this year as well at Cantu. But he's explosive. You saw him in college.
I saw him play at Quinnipiac. There's Kenneth Farid losing the ball out of bounds. United States turning it over. The 4th turnover of the half. Feldin wearing number 10 in the near side. Played in the Northeast Conference. A little too tricky that time. Too cute by Jack Martinez. But the Dominicans will keep it out of bounds against the U.S.
And Orlando Antigua would love to stay in single figures going to halftime. Remember, this team was blown out in New York. You see James Feldin.
Was the ACB newcomer of the year, and Edgar Sosa knocking down a deep 2.
Nice confidence.
He's got 7.
Yeah, it's a good confidence builder for Orlando Antigua's club.
Steph Curry rattles home a 3, and the United States goes back up 10.
Steph Curry has not shot the ball to his capability in this tournament. You just sense it could be a matter of time before he runs off 4, 5, 6 in a row.
That ball went off of Curry's foot. He'll stay with the Dominican. He was 2 for 4 yesterday against New Zealand. Curry 5 for 15 in the tournament, but you can feel it's starting to come around for the Golden State Warriors.
Well, he told our Bob Holtzman that he's going to keep shooting, and he should, because he's obviously one of the best shooters in the world.
Sosa inside, no. Curry and a lot of the starters logging some big minutes here in the first half for Coach K. On the interior pass for Farid out of bounds. Kyrie Irving's played almost 14 minutes in the first half.
I think that's just about trying to establish some rhythm with their key guys. Corner.
Lob for...
Oh, Davis got pushed.
Well, no call there. Behind the back to Feldin. Triple coverage. Gives it back to Santana, who gets fouled. Edward Santana to the free throw line. That's number 3 on Kenneth Farid. And that's a change for those who are just getting into FIBA. Only 5 fouls, and then you're disqualified in a FIBA game. So Coach K going to have to go to the bench.
And that is not as important in a game like this as it would be the closer you get to the semifinals and finals. And I harken back to 2008 when LeBron James and Dwayne Wade each picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter against Spain in the gold medal game in the Olympics. And it really cost Team USA some continuity.
10 Eastern time, also available live on Watch ESPN.
I've already got Matt Frashella his 2 tickets for Yankees Red Sox on the final day of the year.
That's right. The
in Fenway, the
Harvard Crimson.
Well, it's going to be fun to see Jeter in Fenway Park.
Yes.
You know, there'll be Yankee fans there, but it'll be fun to see Red Sox fans, you know, mark the end of an incredible era, a great rivalry.
As Davis tips it in. United States with a 10-point lead as we come up on a minute to go before halftime. A little closer than many would have predicted here.
And credit to Dominican Republic. They played very confidently.
Lee switching hands, getting to the line. And, of course, no Francisco Garcia, their lone NBA representative, who's averaging 21 points per game.
If I would nitpick, which I am prone to do being a coach, they have allowed way too much dribble penetration today. Now, you have Davis back there at the rim protecting it often, but guys like Victor Elise have really done a good job, Edgar Sosa, Feldine, of putting their heads down and breaking down Team USA's perimeter defense. There you see the former Harlem Globetrotter, Orlando Antigua.
Yeah, made some history when he was first non-black, first Hispanic Harlem Globetrotter back in 1995.
He went 7.5 years without losing a game.
Well, it's
pretty good run.
He's only 2-1 in this tournament so far. It's a little better than many had predicted, but the hard portion of their preliminary schedule coming up.
See that 2-3 zone, and you got to find the shooters, but I still think you got to go inside out, and there's a good look.
And Kyrie Irving bearing the medium-range baseline, Jay.
One thing that's impressed me about Kyrie Irving is he continues to become a better and better shooter. And he's nearly impossible to keep out of the lane off the dribble.
I was going to say that's the last part of his game. That and the defensive end that he's working is Santana trying to help Rudy Gay. Kind of contact and motion and gravity, and there was no way around, and Santana picks up his second. Rudy Gay taking his time getting up.
He's the old man of this team.
Yeah. 28 years of age on a team that's averaging 24. The United States.
See, Rudy did this in 2010 for Coach K and that World Championship team. You remember he played with great energy on the defensive end and ran through passing lanes like that. And I almost said Erwin Santana.
I was going to say still a little bit of baseball mode, but Edward Santana, the Dominican Republic, keeping it within hailing range. Orlando Antigua in the Dominican Republic, trailing by 11. Fran, for Fiba timeouts, there's 5 timeouts for the game, but how does it work?
Well, you get 2 in the first half. If you don't use the 2 in the first half, they go away. And so you really just, you need to use them. A couple times in this tournament, we've seen teams not use them, and they pretty much are wasted.
Dominican Republic ranked 26th in FIBA. This is only their second appearance. Fran pointed out earlier, if you missed it, they just missed qualifying for the Olympics 2 years ago in London. And that says a lot. Let's call it an unsportsmanlike foul, as Rudy Gay is going to shoot the technical fouls here. The unsportsmanlike on Edward Santana right before that timeout.
You know, getting back to the timeout rule, in 1992, the Dream Team in the Olympics, Chuck Daly never called a timeout.
Wow.
How about that?
Didn't need to, as I recall.
He did not need to.
And Rudy Gay hitting both technical free throws. 17 seconds to go in the half. The 4th of 5 preliminary round games. They'll wrap up against Mike Fratello's Ukraine squad tomorrow. And as Fran mentioned, we'll get into more of the permutations. For the United States, they win today. They know they've clinched the group. They already have clinched a spot in the round of 16, but a lot to be decided around Spain as Kyrie Irving with the shot clock off. They find Curry. An extra pass to Gay off the window, and it goes down.
Good extra pass by Steph Curry. He had what looked to be the open 3, but Rudy Gay, good set here. Coach K's done a good job out of timeouts, getting Team USA good looks, and there's a good example right there.
The United States, a 6-0 run to end the half. Kenneth Faried leads the way for the United States with 10 points, And a great job by the United States bench, led by Boogie Cousins with 9 points. Halftime at the Vizcaya Arena, the United States by 15.